It was a large police fire and emergency management presence at Gertie's Run in Millvale, and this was the reason. 12 trees swept downstream and became lodged under the bridge. The streets department had to jump into action along with other first responders. Had they not, the trees could have caused a dam and the water to overflood its banks. The mayor here on scene told us it was time to ask for outside help.
We signed a disaster ordinance, sent to Allegheny County, looking for their help to declare the town a disaster right now so we can get some support for our residents.
Across town, Hal Shapiro, who bought the former Boys and Girls Club, has been flooded here a half dozen times before. He is hoping for outside help as well.
When you see the widespread damage that it's caused, and you'd like to see someone try to help.
Tonight, 2 to 3 feet of water are being pumped out of his newly renovated building. He hopes to bring AU basketball to Millvale for kids. Debbie Schaefer's kids and family are too familiar with flooding as well. She sits outside on her front porch, surrounded by mud-strewn belongings and ruined family photos. She is physically and emotionally exhausted.
It was coming in through the dryer vent, like Niagara Falls. Then it started coming in both of them, and there was just like no saving anything.
Mitch, this isn't usual, is it?
Okay, so maybe it isn't as bad as this. But dozens of Pittsburgh geese have decided to make the Sue Murray Public Swimming Pool on the north side their home.
Every day we come in and there's goose poop everywhere. There's in a pool, there's feathers in the pool, there's goose poop on the deck and everything.
Head lifeguard Julie Wainwright has worked the pool for 4 years and says the geese return about this time every year.
It only comes probably about August, right when our camps actually stop coming, because we usually get a big crowd from our camps. And once our camps stop coming, they stop coming. We get easy days for maybe 2 days, and then the geese come every year, same time.
That's when City Parks employees step into action every day, scrubbing geese poop off the deck, skimming poop and feathers out of the water. And then, an even worse job, working in the pool with a vacuum cleaner to suck the geese poop off the bottom.
We make sure that we get all the geese poop out before we let any swimmers in or anything like that.
It's a pretty disgusting problem, all this geese poop. And it takes City Parks workers about a couple hours at least to get rid of it all. But City Parks officials insist they can chlorinate and clean it up enough to make it swimmable. During the geese infestation period, the chlorine treatment gets upped and tested every hour.
We keep it in between a 1 and a 5 usually, and since I have the geese, like I said, I keep it at a 5, highest we should have it.
But that's not enough for some.
I would not want my child in that pool after that. Nobody wants to swim with poo.
Others have no problem once it's cleaned.
It has chlorine and cleaners, so it's not dirty. It just, it doesn't bother me.
City officials seem to have no solution to the geese problem, which means extra work for employees.
Every morning, and we clean it every day.
John Delano, KDKA TV News.
When it comes to choosing where you're going to go eat, social media sites like Yelp have become a go-to place.
I like opinions from other people.
And when it comes to whether a spot is healthy or not, a green health department sticker by the door is the consumer's visual reassurance. Yellow and red are warnings. A county plan for a letter grade system was shot down. So Yelp is stepping in to assign health ratings like they have elsewhere, like in San Francisco, where this restaurant's health rating is displayed on the right-hand side of the screen. The higher the number, the better, and clicking on the score gets you an explanation.
The idea behind a grading system is basically to have a way of synthesizing the data and coming up with an easily comprehensible score.
County Board of Health Chair Dr. Lee Harrison was an advocate of the failed grading system.
The score is going to be weighted towards critical violations, repeat offenses.
I think there's a lot of risk of unfairness to the restaurants. I think that there's a lot of subjectivity that's sort of woven into the process.
Restaurant owners are concerned because Yelp's contractor has a computer bot that will search the Allegheny County restaurant inspection reports for the most critical violations or for repeat offenders and come up with a score, all based on the inspections.
It's a snapshot in time. It's one day for 2 or 3 hours, and yet that letter grade, whatever it is, may hang on your restaurant for years.
Yelp says they'll be continually reevaluated. Those heading out to eat say,
I think that's a great idea.
Cleanliness is a big thing for me. Good idea. Because I don't want to go to a dirty restaurant.
And if they're getting bad ratings, then makes you kind of wonder. For me, that'll be a deciding factor.
I might want to look at Yelp more if they do something like that.
If you got a bad rating on cleanliness, you'll definitely won't get my business.
Mother Nature has taken care of the watering, but yards, big and small, are in need of some help.
And get that debris taken off of the top of your yard.
Jim Etzert's Lawn and Order crew is getting some preliminary springtime work done. He says what you need right now is a rake to get after that debris.
Twigs, leaves, any type of debris, leftover acorns, anything like that. You let the lawn breathe, get that all off the surface.
And don't forget what the dog and deer have left behind.
And it's always good to get that cleaned up too.
Etzert says this is an ideal time to feed the lawn with some fertilizer, but be careful with your spreader.
If they do not overlap the wheel of the spreader, then you'll get like basically we call it zebra stripes. So you'll see a couple green, dark green stripes, and you'll see a couple light green stripes.
And overseeding with grass seed is a good idea as well if your yard is sparse.
Another good thing to do along with that is to aerate the yard, core plug it, then put the seed down, then it gets down in there and it generates and you get the roots growing.
All that said, it could snow on Sunday.
That's okay, actually, it'll be fine.
2 final points. Hold off on planting annuals for probably about another month. And as for cutting your grass,
let it dry up a bit, because when you're on the yard and you got a heavy piece of equipment and you're running it over, it's going to cause more damage than do good.
Your neighbor's needs and your needs in the yard may be different. Personally, I'm going to be spending tomorrow getting rid of the moss in my grass. And there's also something in the grass that is dangerous to these little guys. We'll tell you what is threatening your pets coming up new at 6. John Shumway, KDKA TV News.